Hi everyone. Welcome to Friday Fun. Today we're outside of the nature center right next to the road. But we're here for a good reason because today's topic is about us giving gifts to nature. So it's the holiday season and we have presents waiting for us to open and it's really exciting. But sometimes we have to think about some things that are even more important. And nature and our planet is really, really important and we want to make sure that we take care of it. And we can take care of it and the animals that live, the plants that live here, by helping out. And here at the Madrona Marsh, we do a lot of things to help out. And one of the things we've done is we've hung up some birdhouses. And birdhouses are a place, they're actually called nesting boxes, for birds to make their nests. And one bird in particular is called the western bluebird. Now this bird used to live a lot around here, but the problem was that when we built all the houses and roads, libraries, shopping malls, schools, we had to cut down a lot of trees, and they make their home inside cavities or holes in trees that are made by woodpeckers. So there's not enough trees and not enough holes for them to make their nests. So what we do is we hang some nesting boxes, and the nesting boxes are in the substitution for the holes in the trees. And there's a couple right behind us. Let me show you. So a bluebird can fly right into that little hole and bring in the grasses and little tiny twigs and things to make a nest. So the nest will be down low. I don't know if I can reach this, but it'll be down low, way down here, and the bird, mama bird, daddy bird go into the top, which is really safe for the bird because then if a squirrel was going to try to reach in there, can't reach all the way down. And you'll notice this one even has a little rain shield on top, so the rain won't go in too. That's pretty good. So I have one bluebird box at home, and this summer I had a pair of a mom and a dad bluebird, and they made 2 broods, which means they had 4 eggs and they hatched and they raised those chicks, and then they had 4 more and raised those chicks. That was really fun. So we have bluebird boxes. This is one of the gifts that the Madrona Marsh has given to nature. And then in this direction, we have a new sign. That's pretty fun. It says Madrona Marsh Preserve and Nature Center, where people and nature meet. And if you look just behind it, there's another bluebird box. And the hole is on this side. And this box is like the one that I have. It has a little opener, this little hooky thing. Oh, maybe they've made it too tight. But if you push that little hook up, you can open it. And after the end of the season, you can clean out the old nest stuff. So when they come next year, it's all clean. Let's see what other things we've given to nature here in the native plant garden. Well, first of all, we've planted a lot of plants that belong here. And when you plant the plants that belong here, then the insects that belong here come, and then also the other animals, birds and lizards and things. So everybody has something to eat. Plenty of seeds from the native plant, plenty of bugs from the native plants, and just plenty to eat. And the native plants also serve for being very drought tolerant, which means they don't need very much water. And one way we can help nature is by using less water, conserving water. So let's go through here, see what else we can find. This native garden is looking very, very dry right now, but it's getting ready. It's waiting for the rain. But there's a few plants that don't even look dry at all. They're amazing. One, for example, the cactus. Look at all the fruit on that cactus. This is called a prickly pear cactus. And those little red fruits on there, those are really sweet. And a particular bird called a cactus wren eats those fruit. He likes to have the cactus. And if we look back here, we see some plants that are very dry, waiting for rain, and some things that look nice and green. They can really tolerate very little water. Now we're coming on to the next thing that we've done for nature, and this, in my opinion, is one of the most important. We put in a water feature. This is a tremendous thing for nature. They can come get a drink. The birds can take a bath. We have the camera with the night vision and things, that we see all kinds of animals coming here for a drink. Skunks and raccoons and rats. And then all day long we see all different birds taking a bath and coming and getting a drink at the water. If you have a water feature at home, that's a really, really good gift for nature. Another one that we added was our pollinator house. And the pollinator house is for native bees. And we have a lot of different kind of bees that use it. And one of them is the mason bee. And the mason bee uses these little tubes to put the eggs in and then fills them up with mud. So you can see there's a lot of little tubes in the big house. So the mason bees can use those to have their babies. Or maybe you might get the carpenter bee. And the carpenter bee chews its way right into the wood to put the eggs and the new babies grow in there. So you can see there's large pieces of wood with holes drilled in there, perfect for the carpenter bee. Or maybe you might get the leaf cutter bee. And the leaf cutter bee cuts a little circle out of the leaf and rolls it up, puts the new baby egg in there, and they can put them in those little tubes. So this is for our pollinator house, for our native bees. That's a gift to nature. So we have the nesting boxes and the water feature and the pollinator house, the native plants, and the last one we looked at last time, the bird feeder. Let's go see it. Okay, so we're walking toward the bird feeder now, and we're passing by the plant called the toyon, or the Christmas berry. And these little red berries have seeds inside, and one particular bird, well, a couple, but the cedar waxwings loves to eat these. So that's a little gift to nature by planting that plant. But up here, we can see all the birds on the bird feeder. And Miss Susan can try to get a little closer, or maybe even try the zoom. Sometimes our zoom doesn't work very well, but we can try it. We have some finches and sparrows today, and they are happy, happy, happy. And then down on the ground, we have the white-crowned sparrows, just like we looked at last time. They like to scratch and get stuff off of the ground. So we have the nesting boxes, the bird feeder, the water feature, the native plants, the pollinator house. These are all things that the Marsh has given to nature right here in the Nature Center. We're going to continue inside. Hi everyone, we have walked inside. We are now in the classroom, and right behind me is the water feature we just saw out in the native garden. You'll also notice all around me is the beautiful mural that has been painted on the walls. It's actually still in progress. She's still working on it. So we're here to talk about our book today, which is Giving a Gift to Nature is the theme, and our book today is called Butterfly Park. And it's about a little girl who does give a gift to nature. Once there was a girl who was moving to a new town, and this made her sad. She was going to miss the birds that sang in the morning and the crickets that sang at night, but most of all, she was going to miss the butterflies. She lives out in the country. After a long, winding trip, she and her family arrived at their new home, and instead of birds and crickets, she heard horns and trains. They moved to the city. And then there was her house, plain and gray like all the others. But next to it was a gate unlike the others. The girl repeated the letters and suddenly felt very lucky. On the gate it said, Butterfly Park. The next morning, the girl couldn't wait to meet the butterflies. She set off with a plate of cookies, for it was always smart to make a good first impression. But when she opened the gate to Butterfly Park, she didn't see a butterfly anywhere. She waited and waited, had a cookie, and waited some more. Finally, she saw one, though it was in her neighbor's yard. The girl knocked on the door and asked the boy if he would help her catch the butterfly. He agreed, and he knew how to reach up way high. Together they caught the butterfly and took it to Butterfly Park. But up, up and away it flew over the gate. They needed more help if they were going to bring butterflies to Butterfly Park. So they knocked and knocked on all the neighbors' doors. The children were happy to help. They swung their nets and caught a few, but when they took them to Butterfly Park, up, up and away the butterflies flew, except for one. The children wondered what the butterflies wanted, when suddenly it flew away. The girls and boys dropped their nets and followed the butterfly. They're going to go see where the butterfly's going. It took them up and down through the town. Curiously, windows and doors began to open. Everyone was having such fun, and others joined in too. Looking around going, what's going on? The butterfly led them along a winding path and up many twisted stairs until they reached the top. From there they could see, there's the little butterfly up there, they're following it. There they could see flowers. Yes, butterflies love flowers for their sweet nectar. At last the girl knew what to do. So what do you think she'll do? Bright and early the next day she set off for Butterfly Park again, but this time with flowers. The girl waited, listening to the sounds of the busy town. There were still no butterflies. Then, when she looked through the gate, something caught her eye. What's coming through the gate? It was her neighbors. They arrived with boots and gnomes and wagons. They brought trowels and dirt and shovels. They showed her that plants need roots to grow, and together everyone planted until the park was brimming with flowers and laughter. They all worked together. And sure enough, in time, the butterflies came. The girl not only felt lucky, that's a big picture. Look at all the brand new plants and flowers. So the girl not only felt lucky, in time, she also felt right at home. This is how one little girl started a whole movement to put plants and flowers in Butterfly Park. What a great idea. What a great story. So next we're going to head into the atrium, the middle section of the Nature Center, where we have a few exhibits. It's sort of outside, but it's sort of inside. And we're going to do a couple things for demonstrating the craft this week. Okay, we walked down into the atrium right outside the classroom, and we're going to do some of the crafts. But before we start, I want to talk about, so that little girl, they planted a whole park with new flowers for the butterflies. What can you do? What can you do at home? You could plant flowers at home. You could do that if you have an area where you could, or if you're like in a little apartment, maybe you have a little balcony or something, you could put some potted flowers. But there's other things that you can do. And one of the really important things that we need to think about is using less plastic. So you know when you go to the store and you can buy like water in a bottle, comes in a plastic bottle, and then you try to recycle that bottle, which is good, but it would be even better if we just didn't use it at all. We started using the carry bags when we go to the market, so we reuse the bag instead of those flimsy little plastic ones. So we're working on getting it better. But if you can choose to do things where you just don't buy the one with the most plastic packaging, if you can talk to your mom and dad and tell them, we don't need this much plastic, that can be really helpful to the planet. Another thing you can do is help by using a little less water. So if you're brushing your teeth, get your toothbrush wet, turn the faucet off, and brush your teeth. And then when you're ready to rinse your mouth, turn it back on and rinse your brush. That's one way we can do that. Another thing you can do is at home, you can make a little bird bath. And all you need is like a little pie tin or maybe the thing that sits under the pot for the plant. And you could fill this with water and leave it outside. And just keep an eye on it to keep filling it with water as needed. The bees could get a drink there, the butterflies could get a drink there, and some of the other animals too. That's pretty easy. Another thing you could do is you could make a bird feeder. And instead of a professional bird feeder, we're going to make one today out of a pine cone. So you could use a bigger pine cone or a smaller pine cone. So I'm going to make the little one. And what you need is some peanut butter. And if you can't have peanut butter because you're allergic, you can use the sunflower butter also. And all you're going to do is you're going to cover this pine cone with all this gooey peanut butter. And it doesn't matter what brand you use. Oops, it's messy, but it's kind of fun. And once you get the peanut butter all around, then we're going to cover it with seeds. And the seeds are really fun because you can do different kind of seeds. You can use regular bird seeds, or I looked in my cupboard and I had some sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds that weren't salted are better than those that have salt. So here I got my bird feeder, and I forgot a very important step. It's really a good idea to tie the string on first, but for now I have to clean my fingers. So I brought a piece of ribbon. I cut a piece off this ribbon. Try not to get peanut butter on everything. And right near the top of my bird feeder pine cone, I just slide it right in between the grooves, and then I can tie a knot. And this is what I can tie to the branch of a tree. And like I said, this would have been smarter to do the tying first. Okay, so now I have this, and I could tie it onto the branch. So now I have my peanut butter on my pine cone, and now I need my bird seed. So these were the seeds that I found in my cupboard. And these are not salted, but they're sunflower seeds with no shell, and those are good. But then also here at the Nature Center in the cabinet, I found some real bird seed. And I thought this is actually a little bit prettier, so I'm going to use this one. And all I have to do is pour, oh, these poor little ribbons are getting all peanut buttery, the seeds right on here, and they stick. Peanut butter works just like glue. And if you want to do a really good job, you can kind of even add more and pack them on. You can see there's some sunflower seeds and some millet, some other things. And then you can tie this in a tree. But let me give you a word of warning. Squirrels can really smell that peanut butter. And if there's somewhere they can get to it, chances are they will. But you tie it on a branch of a tree, and then you've given a little bird feeder to nature. Another thing you can do is you can make a little bee house. Now, I wasn't clever enough to bring a napkin, so let me just use my cardboard here and try to get my fingers a little less gooey. A napkin would have been a really good idea. So we saw the really big pollinator house with all the areas for the leafcutter bees and the mason bees, the carpenter bees. Well, we're going to make a smaller version. We are going to make a little tin can pollinator house. And I've added so many interesting things. I've added these paper straws, and you just cut them with a scissor so they will fit right to the right length. And you just cut it, oops, and it falls on the floor. I'll cut one more and I'll hold the long end. And then you can just tuck it right in to make one more tube. And then I have these other straws, and these ones I actually ordered. These ones are exactly the right size for the bees. And we could tuck those in too. Oh, that one is too long. Make it round again and tuck it in. And then if you don't have any straws like those, which you probably don't, you can make them out of a little index card. And all you need to do is take a pencil and roll it right on there. And if you roll it all the way up, it makes a nice strong tube. And then you can put a piece of tape on there, or maybe two, and slide it right off. And these tubes have a little extra peanut butter on them. So then you can make your own tubes, just like that, and they can fit right in. And you can add bits of dry straw or grass, and the idea is to fill it up really nice and tight so that they don't move around a lot, because if they move around a lot, they'll fall out. But look, it's getting tighter, so they're not falling out. I have another tube I can put in. And you keep adding tubes until it's really tight. Then you can tie the string around it, and I put a piece of tape on the bottom. This is some fancy tape to hold the strings in place, and now I can hang it in a tree. And hopefully the bees will come. So those are our crafts for today. That was our lesson about giving some gifts to nature so we can do some things at home. Oh, the one thing I forgot, as we get older, we can walk or we can ride our bike places instead of taking the car. And that saves on using fuel and adding air pollution from the car. And speaking of cars, maybe your family could buy an electric car or maybe solar panels. There's so many fun things you can do for nature, and I hope that you and your family can find ways that you can help. Well, I want to wish you all the very merriest Christmas, happy holidays, and we're all ready for a bright and wonderful new year. We'll see you later. Bye.